Hi, Johnny Good from johnnygood.com here. Thank you for tuning in to day 3 of my screencast challenge. Today I'm taking a break from screencasting to bring you a product review, which is a set of monitors which I bought at the start of this year, the Presonus Eris 4.5 inch studio monitors. I bought these after finding out two main things. The first thing being all the product reviews and the buyer reviews as well online. They all seem to be so favourable and talking, they were very excited about this product. The second thing was scrolling down and seeing the price, which I ended up paying £119 for both monitors, new, with free delivery from eBay, which was like phenomenal. I was looking at spending probably more than twice that price, which would have probably been on a set of KRK Rocket 5s, to be honest. But I saw these and saw the reviews and thought, let's give them a try. So, the monitor themselves, it's a 4.5 inch Kevlar driver and your tweeter up here. There's a volume knob, an aux-in, phones and a power switch. I think they're relatively rare in regards to studio monitors to have a volume switch on the front. I think so, and maybe also the power switch as well. I find it really handy being on the front of this, mainly because as much of these are primarily for me mixing and using in my home studio, they do also get used to play Postman Pat to my son when he comes in here in the mornings, and for me to watch YouTube clips, and just find it really handy to have the volume switch on there. And the power switch just flick on and off when I'm trying to record myself as well. So I think really handy function for a home studio. So you're not always reaching around the back, and yeah, you get the idea. So to the back of this speaker is where all the controls are. Firstly, for acoustic tuning, it has a mid and a high knob, where you can cut up to 6 dB or boost up to 6 dB, and a low cutoff you can either leave flat 80 Hertz or roll off at 100 Hertz. The way I tune speakers to a room when I have done it, I just tend to put on a couple of my favourite mixes of all time on, and just fiddle around until they sound as good as they possibly can out of the speakers. Then I leave it, and then, you know, with the theory that I'm always mixing, aiming to sonically get hopefully remotely close to, or even in the ballpark of what those mixes sound like. With these, I've left them completely flat. I had a fiddle when I first got them, and to be honest, they just sounded brilliant straight out of the box, so I've left them as they are. The other really cool function on here, which is really useful, is this acoustic space, where you can either leave flat 0 dB or take down 2 dB or 4 dB. And there's a diagram here where explaining the theory behind this. The 0 dB Presonus recommend for if you're away from walls, you're away from corners, presumably you've got some absorption treatment or some isolation pads in your speakers, so you're in a really good ideal position for your home studio. They recommend that's the best setting for you. That's a dream setting for me. Realistically, if you're like me, you're probably going to be in the corner of a bedroom or in a room or in a spare room. You're probably going to be up against a wall, and that's where Presonus recommend using the -2 dB setting to compensate for that. I find that the best sound for me in this room. It may be different for you, but to have the flexibility is fantastic. The -4 dB they recommend if you're close to a wall and you're also wedged in a corner. I am, but I find personally that's taking too much out. I find too much bass removed at that point. So -2 dB I find just perfect, nice and flat for me to mix. A really, really useful, handy function that they've really thought about you working in a home studio. Okay, so the inputs, you've got some two balanced TRSs and some unbalanced RCA, phono lead connections. Obviously, the much better route's going to be the TRS, and that this speaker lines out to the other speaker, and there's your AC in there. It lines out, and here's, I guess, where they're saving money. This speaker provides all the power. This is your active speaker. It lines out and connects to the other speaker, which is passive. There's no built-in amp. It's light as a feather. Looks the same, but there's nothing going on. Okay, so there's no amp built into this. It runs off the other speaker. This is going to be where they're saving a ton of money. Okay, it's all going really well. They're fantastic monitors. Downsides, there's one key thing which I've found, which I would say would be the biggest downside to these monitors. It doesn't bother me remotely, actually, but it might bother you, and it's worth mentioning. At worst, it's when they're connected with the unbalanced RCAs. You get a noticeable audio hump. At first I kind of thought it might be in my electrics or something, but looking around online, there's a few people mentioning it. I don't know much about the insides of drivers, or I'm not very good with a screwdriver or technology, getting into things. If I take something apart, it never goes back together again. But the people I've read online say it might be something to do with the quality of the shielding inside a monitor. I don't know. The hum noticeably reduces if you use the balanced connections, the RCAs. So obviously I recommend that. It's a low level audio. Okay. I don't think it doesn't affect me. I don't notice it when I'm mixing. It's noticeable when I switch them off. So it's there. It's there in the background, but I don't think it's affecting my mixes. And I wouldn't say it causes me any problems at all. Okay, but it's worth mentioning, it's worth noting. I don't know whether you have if anyone has any problems with any other monitors, or they find any low-level humming as well from theirs. I'd be interested to know. But it's a thing of note, and if it would be something that would really bug you, or you feel it would cause you a problem, then maybe these wouldn't be the monitors for you. They make a 5 and an 8, which is well worth checking out. I think they're, from what I've seen, just in direct competition with KRK's Rockets. Very similar sounding monitors, price-wise sitting around the same sort of place. Okay, so there you go. That's the Presonus 4.5 Eris studio monitors. Picked them up for about £119 for the pair with free delivery. Even with that small downside, £60 a monitor. It's an incredible price. I think my mixes since I've got them have tightened up and sound so much better than when I was using these Studio Spares SN10s, which are quite muddy, not much bass on them, and you need an amp, and not great monitors to have as sole monitors. I always realised that, but just don't have any money. So as soon as I got these, it was a real life changer, a real game changer for me. So I'd strongly recommend these. Cool. I hope that was helpful, interesting to you. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and check out johnnygood.com. I'll be back tomorrow with day 4 of my screencast challenge. Take care.